Good evening, gentlemen. It has come to my attention that no one is reading the CBA, so I'm here to address some of the rules and get you guys a good understanding of what's going on in our league. So let's start with the basics. 12-man league, head-to-head categories. Pretty similar to last year in terms of roster. We got point guard, one shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. Then we got an extra guard spot, extra center, extra forward spot, just one center spot, and then three utility, as well as three bench and one injury reserve this year we're adding. 8 category league, assists, points, blocks, field goal percentage, free throw percentage, all the ones we normally do, 3-pointers made, no turnovers. We're going to be doing an auction draft. You have $200 to spend in the auction. Every player that you draft for that dollar value, that becomes their salary for the year. And during the draft, you have exactly $200 to spend, but over the season, I set the salary cap at $250. That way, you have a little bit of flexibility for trades, so you don't have to match the contracts exactly. You'll also be getting a free agent budget. I wanted to make the waiver wire and free agents this year a little bit more of a thought process towards that, not just the first person that checks their phone that night. So we're doing auctions. You basically bid on people, and then the results come on Sundays and Wednesdays. So that's when the transactions go through. You have $150 to spend throughout the year. Each free agent is going to automatically be set when you get them at $5, and that's their salary. At the end of the year, you're going to have some decisions to make. You can select however many keepers you want, anywhere from 0 keepers to all 13 keepers. You just have to fit it within that $200. So whatever you are under $200, that's what becomes your draft budget for the next year in the auction. So let's say you only kept one player for $10, you would have $190 to spend in the auction next year. In terms of salaries, they can either go one or two ways. One being that salary stays the same, and the other, the salary rises. Basically, what we do is we calculate how much you should have paid for that player, how much that player produced for that year. So Fantrax has a formula based on the categories of the league, and our scoring system, the number of players in the league, how much you should have paid for that player, how much that player actually produced for the year. So let's say they gave you $20 worth of value. Well, if you paid $40 worth of value, you can still keep him at $40 because his actual output was less than his production. So in that case, your player's salary will stay the same. But what we wanted to do is we wanted to prevent these diamond in the rough players, Rudy Gobert, Draymond Green, Jokic, just to name a few off the top of my head that may have gone for like $1. We don't want them to just stay at that same price. We want that value to rise, but we still want it to, you still want to get value for drafting a sleeper in that sense. So what we do is you get 60% of your current salary and 40% of what that player actually produced. So I'm just going to give an example here of how a player's salary may play out over the years. So let's say you drafted a player for $10. His value for that year was actually $20. So you got a really good deal on him that year. Again, you get 60% of that current salary, and then it's going to be 40% of their actual value. So their salary next year is $14. It's a $4 increase, so you're still getting really good value. If you can keep him at $14 and he produced $20 worth of value, definitely still worth keeping. I'd say next year he jumps up to $50 worth of value, totally superstar status. And again, his salary was set at $14 for his second year. Then his salary once again is going to rise 60% of that $14 and 40% of the $50 to give you a salary of $28 for the third year. Still getting really good value here. You're paying $28 for a player that gives you $50 of production. Definitely worth a keep. But again, we want to make sure that you're not paying $10 for this player. We want to maintain competitive balance in this league, so that's the reason for the system that we have. Again, you overpay for a player, you can keep them at that price at your own risk. You underpay for a player, you're going to have to pay a little bit of a price, but you still get value in that sense. So the buy-in for this league is going to be $50 in year 1, $75 in year 2, and $100 for the rest of the years, at least for now. We're going to have a treasurer to collect all that money. and also deal with the salaries over the off season. We already elected our competition committee who's going to vote on all the trades going through, rule changes, anything else of that matter. And again, these initial rules are very flexible for the first year. So that's what the competition committee will do. And lastly, we do take this league very seriously. We hope no one drops out, but if there is a case where someone, really stops trying or just gives up on the league entirely, they do have to pay the buyout fee. Just so, and the buyout fee is the same as the buy-in fee. So let's say it was a buy-in fee of $100, they would have to pay $100. But not only that, but we would have to make sure we have a replacement for them before they can officially quit. So yeah, we do take that very seriously. That's about all for now. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. I hope you enjoyed this message.